Are we rolling? Yeah. Okay, so I guess I'll talk some more about my sister. Yeah, I can say anything I want about my sister because she won't talk to me, so she can't tell me not to say anything about her that she just wants me to say, so I'll just do it anyway. All right. I'll start off like pretty inoffensive and work my way up. Okay, my sister, I guess it was Easter or something like that, and all the kids were given I guess they hatched them in class like baby chicks, after Easter, and all the kindergarten, now the kindergarten kids got like a little baby chicken. Of course, most of the baby chickens kind of met with like unfortunate like household accidents, like I guess other pets killing them, or like maybe someone like dropping a box of stuff on them. I don't know, all kinds of terrible things happen to the little chickens. But our chicken, I think, was the only one out of the whole class that actually grew up to be a pullet, what they call a young chicken. I guess like an adolescent, I suppose. And we called her Jenny, which I guess is an appropriate name for a chicken because it kind of sounds like a down-home sort of fucking like kind of farm name or something, I suppose. And the chicken was a weird chicken. I remember one time my mother was out in the backyard. They were eating like spaghetti that had like chicken in it, and the chicken, she would come up and start eating the chicken out of the plate of spaghetti. And I thought that was funny, like cannibal chicken. Of course, naturally, I don't think the chicken knew what that stuff was. And the chicken started laying eggs, little eggs, not as big as like the kind of eggs you get at the supermarket, but little. And they were like really good eggs because the yolk was like a real bright yellow, and they tasted a lot better than those supermarket eggs. The supermarket eggs, are very, very weak, in comparison with like actual, eggs from a real chicken, not something raised in a production line with its beak cut off or something like that, Yeah, chickens aren't very intelligent, of course. They're birds, they got bird brains, but I don't know, the chickens, Jenny seemed to be kind of endearing. Used to like hanging out with people, and sometimes she would flap up and jump up and land on your shoulder. So it could be like a pirate only instead of a parrot, I guess she's a chicken. And chicken.
Did she let you pet her?
Yeah, she didn't mind people. She grew up with people. She didn't grow up with any other chickens. She was just around people, so she liked people. But the thing is, she had sort of a strange kind of game going on with my great grandfather's dog next door. There was a brick wall separating the two properties, and she liked to walk along the brick wall, and the dog would like jump up and scare her off the wall, and she'd go back up, and they do this like lame kind of, animals are easily amused, I guess. But one time the dog actually hit her with his paw, I guess, and what happened was it broke an egg that was inside of her, and so she was like acting like really, really sick, and she even like passed this like real friggin' deformed like a broken egg, and it was very painful. So I took her to the vet, and the vet, of course, had to have her put down, and it was of course very, very sad, which. It seems kind of silly. It was only a chicken after all. I've probably eaten like thousands of chickens since I was in 5th grade. But, so, the chicken died in a very gruesome way. That was a pet that my sister brought home from kindergarten. And next, I think I'll tell you about the cat that I guess it was a stray cat, I suppose, she brought home, which is a black and white cat. And I know she named it Wallace, but I think the reason was because that was the name of like some Governor Wallace. Remember Governor Wallace? The cat was named Wallace, black and white cat. Very nice cat. It was like it was an outdoor cat, but we used to let it in the morning, and it's like my grandmother used to like always like call me to go to school in the morning. She'd come to my door and say, "Ron, time to get up," and stuff like that. And the really weird thing was that whenever my grandmother would forget. Because she always called me like sharply, like I think it was like 6 or 6:30 or something like that. When she didn't do it because she had something else to do or whatever, the cat would come to my door and go meow meow like that, which is kind of strange. I guess the cat felt it was important that I get to school on time. Anyway, so what happened with the cat was, I guess one time I saw it limping around with a very swollen paw, and we figure like maybe it like got stung by a wasp or something like that. And then the cat disappeared. Now, I think what could have happened was my grandfather could have brought it to the vet and it was put down. He didn't tell us about it because that's how they did things. I noticed, like when my great grandfather died, his dog, they said, ran away. And of course, they told us the story like, oh, then they saw him like weeks later was on a leash, was being walked by some little lady or something like that. I think what really happened was my grandfather took the dog to the pound to be put down, but he just told us this fabrication. So yes, so the cat just disappeared one day.
And the little old lady adopted the dog from the pound?
Yeah, but it didn't happen. He just told us that nonsense story instead of telling the truth. Like, yeah, we took your friend down to the pound to get gassed. so I asked a couple stories about my sister.
I'm sorry to sound like such a dork, folks. I have earmuffs on, so I might have missed him saying stuff. That's why I sound so
yeah, she's not a
idiotic.
dork. She's not a dork. She's standing there wearing earmuffs. So, so I guess we still got time on this one. No, this is a very interesting, entertaining story. Aside from like bringing like the animals home to raise as pets, which was really weird because I never was allowed to bring any animals home for pets. But every single friggin' worm or cricket my sister brought home was immediately adopted by the family. Oh, here's another story about my sister's cat Wallace. Near the end of Wallace's life, he didn't want anything to do with my sister. He avoided her like the plague because what happened was one day my sister got this really crazy idea. We had a little kiddie pool out in the backyard, and Sam decided that it was a good idea to try to teach the cat how to swim. So she threw the cat in the little kiddie pool, and of course the cat didn't want anything to do with her after that, so every time he saw her, he friggin' ran the other way. It was pretty funny. But anyway, there's one weird thing happened. My sister must have been like, I don't know, 5 years old or something like that. And we had this like little picture book of the life of Jesus, you know, and had like these illustrations of Jesus healing the blind guy, walking on the water, all this kind of Jesus stuff, you know. And like one time my sister's like, oh my God, Ronnie, what am I going to do? You got to help me, He's like, what? He's like, get rid of this book, get rid of it. And I'm like, get rid of the book? Why is wrong with the book? He's like, just get rid of it, Don't let Mom and Papa see. Don't let them see the book. And I'm like, so I pick up the book and I open it up and it's like, there was shit in it. She like stuck shit in this fucking little kitty picture book, and all the pages were stuck together with shit. And I'm sure it was her own shit because I don't think any of us left any of our shit lying around. You know what I mean? So she decided. I don't know what she was. All of a sudden, she thought it was a good idea to fucking smear shit in this Jesus book. Maybe the devil possessed her or something. I don't know. But
was it maybe dog?
No, it was definitely not a dog. We didn't have a dog in our yard.
Maybe she found
yeah, my sister went like walking around the neighborhood looking for nice, fresh, gooey dog shit to put in this Jesus book. I mean, come on. It was her own shit.
Did you ever say, why did you do, or ask her, why did you do this?
I was like, what the hell you think? I was like, I don't know. Just get rid of it. Don't let Mom and Pop see it. Oh, man. So, I can't think of any other stories about her. I remember one other story. She had this like boyfriend, a really abusive asshole named Ray, who used to always like knock her around and stuff. Which I suppose is
really?
I suppose is the only way to keep her in line because she's a little bit crazy. But one time, they were over at our grandparents were gone. I don't know where they were. Maybe visiting some of the hospital or something like that. I guess I don't know. But my grandparents kept like a bottle of medicinal brandy in their closet. And they got a hold of that, and they were drinking that stuff. And I'm like, Sam, you better put that back. You're gonna really feel bad about that lader. And she was like, fuck you, we're partying up. And of course, the next day she had hungover. And of course, she felt guilty as hell. This is a really interesting story about how she finally got rid of that guy. It's one of those typical kind of things where the guy's like a real jerk and he knocks her around, but she keeps going back to him and all this stuff. But one time, it's like she was trying to run away from him. And she ran into a police station, and you could tell this Ray was a real mental giant. He like chased her into the police station to get her, right? And then of course the cops see this guy like roughing up this girl, and they ran a check on him and found out he had warrants. So I guess he spent the night in jail. And then after that happened, Ray's parents decided he shouldn't see her anymore because obviously she was trouble, and they wouldn't let him see her anymore. So then she ended up with that other guy, I guess Joe, which I'm not even really sure they're even together anymore because I see on her Facebook page a lot of pictures of her kids, but there's like no pictures of her husband except for like some graduation thing with their kid. But so I don't know. I mean, of course, I'm out of the loop, so I don't even know what the story is.
She has wedding pictures that show him though.
Yeah, those are wedding pictures. Those are old wedding pictures. Nothing recent though. So I was gonna say some other stuff. Oh, and that's another thing. Obviously, my sister, she's not like a terribly, she's not an overly bright person, but apparently she's trying to really make the best of a potentially bad situation. Because remember last time I mentioned that she has all this like multi-level marketing stuff up on her Facebook page, and I linked back to it. And I looked at her friggin' Facebook page again recently, and she's like really gone overboard sticking the multi-level marketing stuff up there. Her Facebook page looks like a shameless advertisement for that aging cream, whatever it is. So she's figuring like, well, he's sending me all this traffic my way, so I'd be a fool not to friggin' take advantage of it. So yeah, so my sister was really desperate for dough, apparently.
So what about the bike? Did she hang out with biker guys?
She used to hang out with like racist bikers. Not racist, what does that mean? But like they were kind of like white separatists, and she used to hang out with a lot of stoners, like basically like really, really trashy people. I mean, I have a problem with the racist aspect of it, but the fact that a lot of these people, though, actually, the stoners are even worse than the racist bikers. At least the racist bikers had some kind of reason for living. All these stoners, all they lived for was like getting as high as possible and smoking as much weed as they could get their hands on. I'm sure a lot of Sam's old, friends are probably either dead or in prison by now.
Did they ever come by and your grandfather or grandmother met them?
And of course, they always like try to act all dapper and on the ball when they would meet an older person, but I'm sure my grandfather, he'd been through that whole trip before with my mother, with all her scumbag druggy friends back in the 60s and stuff. But yeah, she used to really bring home some real friggin' winners. Oh my god. Of course, she always was a little bit nutsy cuckoo, but alright folks, well, as I think I mentioned, I'm tired, so I'm kind of like spacing right now. Yeah, so stay cool, and I'll see you all in the next video.